Hello. It is me, Fiery Grace the Gifted. I know that there's a chance not too many people are going to join us tonight, but for those of you who are here, what's up? Talk to me. How's it going? I'll let you know what we're doing. Hopefully we get a mod in here. Who's here? Who's here? If you're here, please tell us your I feel like this is important. Tell us the last time you spoke to your divine counterpart. And if you've never met them before, say, oh, I've never met them. Okay. So when was the last time you spoke with your divine counterpart? That's, I think, a really good thing I'd like to know. Wow. We've got some people who've never met them. We've got some people who just spoke to them, what, a few days ago, this week. Okay. I'm always curious about this. So here's what's going on, everybody. If you're interested in getting a personal one-on-one reading or something like that on a live chat, I'm not really doing that. However, I may, if I answer any questions that are personal, pull cards. I don't know yet. So I'm going to do something really quick. Some of you have seen me do these in my lives. No, your screen is not messing up like after you went in solitaire. Fiery Grace is doing something a little bit different tonight. So yeah, if you're just getting here, when did you meet your, or not meet, when did you last see your divine masculine or hear from them? And now also, if you're here, ask away. I will happily answer personal questions if I feel like it. I will also ignore you if I feel like it, because this is completely free. I'm totally open to donations. Why would I turn them down? But I'm not asking for anything. I just had a feeling that I needed to be present tonight. I don't know if there's someone that needs me or just maybe some things that'll come out in this. Maybe I will cut this down into a video like Mr. Lightwork's been doing. But while you're here, when you join, let us know when's the last time you saw your divine counterpart. Or if you don't know them, let us know you don't know them, you haven't met them yet. What up, members? Hi, Patrice. What up, what up, what up? So you can ask questions, personal questions, but I'm more likely going to answer non-personal questions, just so you guys know. So what's happening right now is I am sitting here feeling like somebody needs me, and I don't know why. Or again, that something needs to be said tonight, and I don't know why. So forgive me if I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And again, I just see people coming. So I just want to make sure until we get a moderator here that can kind of help people out. And if you guys are here and you don't mind helping and someone says, hey, what's she doing? When they come in, just let her know or let them know, kind of the gist. So again, I will more likely be answering personal or non-personal questions, Twin Flame Collective questions, but I may choose to answer something else. And I'm going to go ahead and work. So let's see what we've got. It's actually 12:12 where I am now. I just saw someone said 11:11. You must be in a time zone behind me, but here where I am, it's 12:12. What time is it where you guys are? So let's go ahead and see. Let's find a question. Does shadow healing play a big role in the twin flame journey to union? So, yes. And here's the thing I want everyone to start to think about when they reflect on, being, becoming, or walking as a twin flame. I think it's important for you to remember that a lot of people will try to incorporate their own beliefs into, being a twin, which is totally cool. It's just not necessarily official. And I don't ever want you to feel guilty about using the right lingo, trying to really identify and personalize your twin flame journey. There's no problem with that. So I personally, and again, if you disagree with me or feel different and you don't like that, then you can go and leave. But if you're like me and you're open to us, lovingly loving each other and being fine with disagreeing with each other, then just hear me out. Maybe you might get a new perspective or have your own kind of train of thought here. I don't like to call it shadow work. And you're going to see that there's a lot of people in the twin flame community who will leave the twin flame YouTube community, particularly like the social media community, and call it the devil's work and black magic because of how much some readers, gurus, and teachers harp on what they call shadow work. And people who tend to kind of live in light and don't necessarily identify with that phrase, shadow work, will look at it and say, why do you have to spend so much time in darkness? And so I love the fact that you kind of referred to it as shadow healing. And I think that if you don't really identify with the whole thing of shadow work, but you do understand the idea of healing parts of you that are broken, some of you might call it, getting yourself into balance or alignment, whatever it is, yes. There is a reason why the main idea behind twin flames is ascension. Ascension is the primary component that every reader will agree with. We may not agree on whether or not separation is required. I do not believe separation is a requirement. I believe that some people are claiming it and making their separation period longer. So not everyone agrees on that, right? Not everyone agrees on whether you come into union in this lifetime. I believe you do. I believe it's illogical to believe the other, but I don't believe that that means I'm going to tell you you're crazy or something. But, I don't see the logic in it. And it's just because of, again, my belief in how I connect with God. I happen to be a Messianic Jew, aka a Christian, and being a person who identifies with my Jewish roots and my Messianic or Christian roots, it's hard for me to see it any other way. It's illogical to me knowing that we're meant to go two by two and all these things that I believe. So again, just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean it's true. But you see, that's another thing people will have a hard time agreeing with. But every reader, every teacher, every guru will all agree. Somehow ascension work and being a twin flame go hand in hand. Some will say the ascension starts when you meet your twin. I disagree with that. I believe that if that was the case, well, then I think it's unfair to those people who have age gap relationships. What about the older twin? That's disrespectful to say that they lived 60, 70, 80 years and did no work. I don't agree with that. So there's things that again, even with ascension, that people are going to try to nitpick over. But I believe that one of the most important parts of being a twin is working through those parts of you. Why? Because a part of what makes your mission work as a twin flame is each other. And if you can't work with each other, then you can't do your mission. And if you two are sitting in ego or shadow or evil, demon possession, darkness, whatever, black magic, whatever you guys want to call it, refer to, whatever. If you're sitting in some sort of negative space that has not been healed, you will not be able to be present for each other in the ways that you should. It could even come off as seeming healthy, but it's really codependent. It could come across as seeming good, but then you guys are really faking or acting or pretending or whatever. But an authentic twin flame dynamic requires both partners to consistently, from birth to death really, but especially when they come together, to use the relationship. And it's different for everybody. Some people are going to almost like antagonize each other into growth. Some are going to be each other's shoulder to lean on while the world beats down on them. And others are going to have different types of inner and outer, like external, internal dynamics where maybe it's fluid. But somehow, some way, your twin flame is meant to be there for you and help you be better, and vice versa, that allows you to complete the mission. And if you don't do the shadow work, then you can't work together. And everything else in your life just doesn't really work. It doesn't fall into place. And if you can't get along with the person that you love, the person that is most like you, or the person that is best for you, you definitely cannot have the relationships required to be a powerful light worker and make a change in the world. So absolutely, shadow healing, healing trauma, aligning yourself, balance, whatever it is, all of these things matter on the twin flame journey. Oh my goodness, who is this? I can never tell who it was. How do I do it? Oh, thank you, T. Wilson. What up, amazing Grace? You know what it is. I'm just kidding. Thank you so much for the donation. Listen, guys, I appreciate anybody donating. I also appreciate anyone who's a member. But if you can't do anything, if you can't afford anything, please don't feel obligated to ever support the channel beyond your viewership. That honestly is enough. But those of you who do give, like, you don't know what it means to me. My love language is gifts, and I try not to like really rely on money and financial and presence and things like that. So when I do get it, I'm learning to allow myself to appreciate it. That way I still get to get the love, you know what I mean? So, okay. So yes, shadow work, shadow healing, whatever you want to call it. It plays a big role on the twin flame journey to union, also before it and also after, okay? So I hope that that helps. Let's keep going. Let me see what you guys been talking about here. Ooh, okay. I'm going to come back to that in a second. Let me see what you guys got down here. Okay. Yo, yo, yo. Oh, what? I'm going to pull a card for everybody who's feeling drained. I'm going to pull a couple cards. Let's come over here, guys. Hello. I'm actually sitting like on this side of my table, but on the other side, like the opposite. So hi, I'm back. I hope, can you guys hear me if I'm standing here, or is my mic like too far away from me? Because I didn't put it on myself. I guess I should have. I hope you guys can hear me. So I'm gonna pull, if you've been feeling drained, if you've been feeling, thank you so much, guys. If you've been feeling stressed, if you've been feeling overwhelmed, I want you to understand something. Sometimes you guys will hear me say, like, if I've been feeling stressed, then I know you guys have. And I know when I say it, I even kind of go, well, now wait a minute, before you think I'm saying that I'm special or something. I'm not special. I am just more aware because I'm able to be because of my job. I have twin flames reaching out to me constantly. I work with twin flames as my work, like in terms of my job. I do readings, phone sessions, and long-term coaching. That's all I do. I am exposed to all the energies and all the information. So when I notice, and also I study a little bit, just enough astrology if God leads me to, like I hadn't for a few months, but then for the recent moons, because we're coming into eclipse season, I started to get the feeling and the sense to do so again. So when all that's happening, it's like I notice and I'm aware of things, so I don't let things bother me. Like when I hear it's Mercury retrograde, I'm like, oh, good to know that it might get tough. That way, if it does, I don't have to get overwhelmed. When I say to you right now that even I've had a rough month, that even God has used like a situation for me, like I get it. And I want you to know it has been heavy, it has been tough. And I think it's been tough for everyone, not even just us, I think even outside of the spiritual community. So the first thing I want to say to you is, if you've been feeling low, if you've been feeling bad, especially if you've really been doing your work or were doing your work before, I just want you to feel okay knowing that everyone is sensing the change. You know what right now is happening? You are feeling the heaviness that comes right before the storm hits, okay? Now, this is going to actually, in my opinion, be a good storm. It's going to bring the rain that it needs. It's going to bring peace and abundance and blessings. But right now, it's like the pressure is lowering. The vibe is lowering right before the storm blows through, and, you know, it opens up, I think, again, in a good way, the floodgates. And so it's very interesting that a lot of people are feeling it and can't figure out why and can't pin it down. They think it's their DM, their DF, they think it's their family, their friends, they think it's the election. They're blaming it on all this different stuff. And the truth is, the time for change has arrived. Eclipse season will bring in even more powerful energies. And if you allow yourself to just feel it, observe it, and move forward, you don't have to sit in the negative. It doesn't mean you're going to feel great, but you don't have to feel awful, if that helps. But if you're ready and you want to feel good, remind yourself when it hits that you can choose to change your energy right now, because it's a very, very wide open master manifestation energy. Remember, we were just a few days out from that 11/11 portal. In fact, today is 11/8/2020. We are so close, you guys. So just allow yourself to feel it if you feel it, okay? That's the main thing I want to say. And if you're okay moving forward beyond it, don't think that there's something like better or worse about you, or any, it's you're not, if you're able to move forward, it's not like you're not in tune with the energy. And if you're not able to move forward, it's not like you're too weak, you're not strong. It's not like that, okay? So let's get a couple cards. Let's find out what's been going on with the DM and the DF. So while this energy is here, obviously there's a little bit of pressure on us for a reason. So let's see what's going on in the 3D with the counterparts to see if maybe we can get some information about what this pressure was doing. Because remember, pressure creates diamonds, okay? So, wow, look at that. Look at that. Okay. Divine Feminine, Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles, but it's shifting. This energy is about to shift into the Knight of Pentacles. What this is telling you is right now, you're having a like kind of a new humble beginning, okay? You're having a new sense. You're coming into this new season not feeling so I don't want to say this because I don't want to make anybody feel bad or think I'm judging them, but like you realize you don't know a lot. But that's, to me, that's beautiful. Realizing that you're still missing a lot and maybe you don't have it all right and maybe your way is not the best way and blah 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 is actually a really mature thing, but I don't want to make you feel like you don't know what you're talking about. So again, if that doesn't resonate. Now that you're in the right mind frame for the blessings, they're coming. And there's something new on the way to you as we speak. And when it comes, plant the seed, buckle down, honor your commitments, get the work done, okay? Now, Divine Masculine, interestingly enough, similar vibe. They have just seen the light. I'm telling you, some of your Divine Masculines have just looked in the mirror and went, oh my gosh, I know that person. Whoa, for the first time ever. Your Divine Masculines are looking at the world and themselves in a new light, and their next phase, because I do sense that these are moving into a time of change. Their next phase is they're finally going to start to think long-term, big picture, create a plan, and make the right moves for the plans, okay? Make the right moves for the plans instead of doing the wrong thing constantly, okay? So we see the pressure was on everyone over the past month to get them to do what they were supposed to do so that they were ready for the energy coming on 11/11. I have so many readings right now just sitting. They're taking forever to process. I had to restart my internet 3 times. That's why I'm even going on so late now, because I knew that someone needed me, but I was going to try to go a little bit earlier because what if they're on the East Coast and now they're sleeping? You know what I mean? But yeah, so I've been having all these internet issues, and it's just crazy because I'm thinking back to all these readings I'm doing, and I'm like, maybe there's a reason why all these readings have backed up and they're like sitting there waiting to be sent. They just need to become available. They're at 95% process because these people are supposed to get their readings right before the 11th. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, dang, maybe there's something that had to happen first because that's when the shift is going to occur. Okay, good to know. So what's the 5D? What's the overall vibe for, I'm going to say everybody. I think that was more for twin flames, but what just for everyone? What's going on with everyone right now? Wow. So again, you see what I'm saying? You're not crazy or wrong if you feel heavy. You're not wrong to feel overwhelmed. Right now, in order for the Divine Masculine to see themselves and for the Divine Feminine to see the truth of what lies ahead and be willing to get started, both had to be kind of taken to task in their own ways. So if you've been feeling heavy, it's because your spirit's getting renewed. You're getting renewed. Okay, so now, why? What can we know? What is the most important thing? And everyone take what resonates. Don't just take what I say and go with it. Take what resonates here, and if you feel led to go beyond it, go beyond it. Listen to your intuition. But what is the reason? What is the most important thing? Why is it that we had to feel this way? And you see, it adds up to 13. So we see there's an ending. We see there's a completion. We see there's a release. Why was it so important for all of us to go through that? What are you preparing within us for what's next? Hold on. I'm gonna hold on. Get out of here. I mean, does anybody? I'll just show you. A very happy family life, financial security, finding magic in the little things. Okay? Do I need to go on? Do you need more? It's because you needed to get rid of all the junk before you decided anything in the new season. That's why. That's why. Okay, so let's see what else we got. Thanks again, T. I appreciate that. Oh, okay. This was the one I was going to go back to. So someone asked about the what's it called? How does their divine masculine feel about them after they blocked them? So how many of you, honestly, if you don't want to answer, please do not answer. I don't want you to make yourself feel bad. But if you're willing to put yourself out there and share this, how many of you believe or know you're blocked right now? And if you are blocked right now, how long have you been blocked? Okay. I'm curious about this. So I see divine counterparts blocking each other for not the reasons that we think. I see divine counterparts blocking each other for the same reasons that I tend to block people. So let's say that me and my ex broke up, but I'm still feeling them. I know myself. I know that I'm going to probably end up stalking them super hard. I can't help it. I grew up before we had internet and you know what I mean? So like having it at my fingertips is so hard. It's like, oh, but it's right there. Why wouldn't I use it? It's a resource, you know? And so knowing that that's true, I will usually go through and block people after we break up. Not because I think they're going to hit me up, usually because I think I'm going to hit them up. And sometimes because I'm very worried that I'm going to do the, backsliding just for a little, nookie or something like that. Because that's a thing in our society too, is like, we'd rather go back to someone so that we don't increase the number of people that we may have slept with, rather than avoid an unhealthy relationship and a reconnection. And so, yeah, there's a lot of reasons why people block people, and it's not always what you think, okay? So look at this. Do you guys see it? If you're in the chat, look at how many people are blocked. Look how many people have been blocked, are blocked, or were blocked for periods of time. Don't assume that just because they did it, that it means that it's going to end your relationship or that it's over. And don't also assume that just because they blocked you and then I'm about to say what I'm about to say or have said what I said, that that's the case for them. You have to be really cautious about just jumping online and listening to whatever makes you feel good inside. You have to be really cautious about letting people tell you what you want to hear because, again, you're so desperate to feel good about that thing. And so when I come to you and I say, look, some of y'all are blocked because you're crazy. And maybe you're not crazy all the time, but y'all act crazy with your counterpart. Some of y'all are blocked. Look, what did somebody say? Look, I block when I feel myself getting clingy. Exactly, Tiff. That's me too. I do the exact same thing. So some of y'all are blocked straight up because some of you are stalking someone who is not your twin, or you're stalking your twin, which is also ridiculous. Some of you are blocked because your twin on the complete opposite side of the spectrum is obsessed with you and knows that if they don't block you, they're going to be thinking about you and checking their phone. Oh, I do this too. I will block someone in my phone when I want to hear from them. I know you guys are like, Grace, that's insane. But listen to me. I would rather wonder if I missed a message in the ether that I'll never get than constantly be looking at my phone, hoping that it's them, or thinking every time my phone did ring that it was them. So when I first met Mr. Lightwork and it wasn't him hitting me up, I got so depressed whenever my phone rang, I had to put my phone on silent. And actually, I had always been one to keep my phone on silent, like especially when I was married. But after, when I met, before I met Mr. Lightwork, kind of in between there, I had my phone on because, hey, I was actually talking to people. But boy, when I tell you, I had to block him. And then that's where I didn't realize that by blocking him just to keep myself from being sad, he actually became the runner in that instant. So that's an interesting thing. Sometimes protecting yourself or keeping yourself from doing and making like some poor decisions can actually create new energy in your dynamic. And so in that time, I was not blocking Mr. Lightwork to initiate Runner Chaser. I didn't even know about Twin Flames, let alone Runner Chaser. I simply blocked him for my sanity because I missed him. I wanted him in my life. I was totally into him. I could not get enough. He did not call me as frequently as I wanted. I got super sad and depressed, so I blocked him. This dude downloaded is it called Voxer or something? Don't download Voxer because Mr. Lightwork found out later that that he was getting charged $14.99 a month for after like the first month of him using it because it allowed him to make up fake phone numbers so he could call me. Now, let me say this. How many of you would really be into someone who made up fake phone numbers to call you after you blocked them? Really? You would say, well, if my DM did it, if my DF did it, totally into them. But if someone I didn't want to, I would call them a freaking stalker. So all I'm saying to you is before you get mad at a reader or anybody, because I know sometimes Mr. Lightwork calls y'all crazy and y'all be like, oh, I don't appreciate being called crazy. Look, let me tell you something. Mr. Lightwork and I both do readings for Twin Flames, but he's the guy. Imagine being on the guy end and having someone tell you like, yeah, I wrote my name or I wrote something in lipstick on his car window. Yeah, I stalked, I found his address and went to his house. It's like, don't blame Mr. Lightwork for telling y'all what y'all don't want to hear because he, unlike me, refuses to sugarcoat. I sugarcoat because I know that you catch more flies with honey and sometimes I'm trying to give y'all information that I know is going to be hard. So don't get mad at him. Let him be, real with y'all and hear that. And if you're not being crazy, don't get offended. Some people just use words you don't like. Some people use the R word, R-E-T, you already know what I'm saying. And some people are like, that is highly offensive. Some people are like, I don't mean anything by it. Some people say gay for when they really mean like stupid. My mom got on me when I was a kid. I didn't know my mom was bisexual when I was a child. And so I used to be like, that's gay. And my mom would be like, what's wrong with being gay? And I was like, Mom, you know that's not what I meant. But my mom was not having it. So give people a chance when they say something that you didn't necessarily like. Because again, sometimes we take things personal, especially when we connect with someone. Sometimes y'all get really hurt when I say something and you find out maybe we don't agree on everything. So slow down before you get too into the internet stuff, get too caught up with it, whether it's good or bad, whether you get offended or not. All right. Anyways, back to the point. Somebody asked me, what's the deal with the owls? I like owls. All right, moving on. So, my favorite thing are winged things. So, my favorite creatures are angels. My favorite insects are butterflies. My favorite birds are owls. Actually, my favorite birds are, oh gosh, what are those things called? Oh no, I forgot. Cassowaries. Is that right? Cassowary? Whatever. My favorite birds are the gigantic evil birds that will kill you. Owls will also hurt you. Anyways, I like things that have wings. I don't know why I always have. I've been attracted to them my whole life. So I have all these owls because people give me owls. My grandma gave me one owl. My cousin gave me an owl. My little sister gave me one of those owls. And then I bought one of those owls at the fair with Mr. Lightwork from a lady who, these are actually carved from some sort of wood. This lady's name is Judy. If you guys like this is the little owls from Sleeping Beauty. So this lady has a website. Her name is Judy something. I bet you if you just searched, what's it called? Magic Kingdom Judy wood carving, you'll find her if you guys want to buy stuff from her. I found her at the Florida State Fair a couple years ago. She also made these hugs. Judy, yeah, I can't see what her last name is. She gave me paperwork with her stuff on it, but I didn't know. But anyways, I just have stuff, you guys. I actually, some of you guys know I don't talk to my family anymore, but I actually have a bunch of gifts up here for my little sister who I think she stopped after the last one because I don't ever respond to her. I don't know how. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. So she always tells me like, you don't have to respond, but she also like, I feel bad. Like, anyways, my point is, so she sent me one of these. And then when I went to the fair where I found that and my singing bowl over there, I found another one and I bought it because I thought it was sweet to put them together, because I still love my family just because I don't talk to them. Anyways, that's what's up with the owls. Alrighty, let's see what we got. So yes, again, blocking, they may have blocked you because you're crazy. They also might have blocked you because they are into you and they're trying to stop thinking about you and they want you to hit them up, but then they're afraid. But that's why you can't just take everything you hear on the internet and run with it, because now I just said something and you might go, oh, that must be my DM. This whole time I thought I wasn't supposed to be contacting them, and maybe it's that they really want to hear from me. So now I'm going to go extra hard and try to find, you know what I mean? It's like, don't do that. Don't listen to readings just about union. Don't listen to readings to get information for yourself. Order a reading from a reader you trust, and if you can't afford one, save up for one if you really value them before you make any big decisions and you really think you have to have that insight. I want you to try to get it from yourself first. If you really believe you're meant to get it from a reader, get it from someone that you know is not going to just tell you what you want to hear, okay? Stop wasting your money on readers that are not good for you, and stop wasting your time on readings that are just toying with you and taking you back and forth, okay? All right, let's see what else we got. Yes, Nitu, I do not believe we have to be in separation. And I think one of the most important things about the twin flame journey for many of us when we first start is figuring out kind of where we stand, where we fall, like who we are in the community, who we are as a twin. But then the problem becomes we kind of fall in line. So we're like, okay, so this resonates. I connect with this. All right, so who am I in this? You know, okay, I'm a twin flame. I'm a divine feminine. Got it. Okay, now, so where am I at? Like, am I in the beginning, the middle, the end? Oh, I'm in separation, and that's the middle. Oh, everyone has to have a separation. Oh, okay, great. False. That's not how you should become a twin flame. And again, there is no book for it, so I don't blame you. I don't want anyone to be like, oh no, I'm doing it wrong, I'm terrible. No, it's not about that. Think about a second how you got here. If you're new, good for you. You found me early. And I'm not even trying to be like, look at me. I'm a twin flame in union. Try to find more than, 5 or 6 couples. And most of them are older. And the truth is, most of them kind of fit that kind of typical spiritual woo-woo look. And I think that can make people feel weird. And I don't know why, but a lot of people kind of complain about it. And I think it's cool because me and Mr. Lightwork are really ambiguous. You don't really know exactly what we are, but you just know we're kind of young, fresh face. I'm just kidding. But we're here and we're down to earth and we've been in union and we don't have the back and forth of separation, and we're not trying to focus on any one particular group of twins. You know, it's not just about age gap relationships. In fact, from the survey that I did, you guys, age gaps relationships are not even that prevalent in the twin flame community, at least not in the ones that follow me. And I have quite a few, but it's not as many as people think. Okay. And I think we talk about that way too much, so much so that new twins think they have to have an age gap or else it's not real. And it's like, that's not how it works. So again, take a moment and just ask yourself, how did I get here? Why do I believe what I believe? Why am I doing what I'm doing? In fact, I think this is an important question. Let me get a quick card pull for this. If you're a divine feminine, which most of you on my channel are, I'm going to pull a card for you real quick in the 3D of what part of your life you need to look at for healing in your twin flame dynamic. Because here's what you need to understand. A lot of the times what will happen, and this is not coming from me as an opinion, it's not coming from me, it's a mixture of my intuition and just fact and experience of me working with twins for the past several years. What usually happens is when you get into the twin flame dynamic, whether you're doing the work or not. And again, if this isn't you, it doesn't resonate. You don't need to make anybody else feel bad. You don't need to go, not me, not me. It's okay. But most of us, this is what we find. All of our bad habits show up right in the beginning. All the things, because guess what? This person sparks something in us and our ascension, our awakening gets catalyzed, right? Very quick chemical reaction type feeling. And when that happens, we think we're a lot farther along on our ascension than we are. And sometimes that does mean separation occurs. Sometimes it doesn't. But no matter what, it does mean that all your issues kind of come to the forefront. So some of you have forgotten that you've always been obsessive in all your relationships. Some of you are that person, boy or girl, who's always been boy crazy or girl crazy. Some of you have always been clingy. Some of you have always been fairy tale obsessed. So some of you forget and use twin flames as a crutch for your old negative behaviors rather than using it to help you see how those old negative behaviors aren't going to work. That's why some of you do end up in a long separation period with your counterpart, because you refuse to make those changes. You hop on YouTube and a reader tells you it's all their fault and you go, yeah, your fault. And so be very cautious about just moving forward on your journey and not taking a moment and going, you know what? I always fall really hard. I always do this. Am I really sure this is my twin flame? I'm not saying this to you to cast doubt. I'm saying this because if you actually take the time to figure out if someone's your real twin, it's far better than going around from reading to reading saying, maybe someone else can help me figure it out. Maybe someone else can. No, it's your job. You're supposed to figure it out. And it's not just about looking at the other person, because that's what most of us do. We look and we point the fingers. It's more in you. There's more in you about your divine counterpart than you think. That's why I encourage most of you, if not everyone who's ever talked to me at some point, if we're on the phone long enough, or if we have a coaching session long enough, or if you are a long-term coaching candidate or client, I make you do this. So some of y'all already know. I make you write down not a affirmation or a statement about your divine counterpart, but an affirmation or a positive statement about who your dream person is. Now, most of you are going to try to at first write down all the things about your divine counterpart that you like, but then you're going to leave out all the things you don't like, and you're going to leave out all the other stuff that you like about your dream person, because you're like, I don't want to write these down, because if I write them, that's going to prove that at least now my counterpart is not my dream person. So some of you avoid really looking at yourself, because if you do, then it requires you to look at your partner. So do yourself a favor, write it down. Write down what you've always wanted in a person. Be honest. Think about the things that your counterpart has hurt you through, or like behaviors that they've used, and write down the equal and opposite. So one of the things Mr. Lightwork did, remember what I told you? I had to block him because he didn't hit me up enough. So I actually wrote down in an affirmation, not because he had changed, but because I knew how bad that had hurt me and didn't realize how important it was to me. So I wrote down, he makes time for me and keeps up with me throughout the day. Because Mr. Lightwork not being and doing that for me triggered that understanding in me that it was important. And I was not afraid to write that down. When I wrote my affirmation, I'll pull it out right now. I will pull out right now and read it to you guys. I will tell you that when I wrote it, I was writing it against Mr. Lightwork. As silly as that sounded. I liked him so much, but I felt like I just knew that as much as I liked him, he just was not going to be the person for me. I just believed it. And so I wrote down the stuff, even the things that I knew he would never be. The first thing I wrote down was, my husband is a man of God, because I write my affirmations in, present tense. My husband is a wonderful man of God, or something like that. And I knew right then Mr. Lightwork would never be that guy. Well, guess what, guys? My divine masculine is now a wonderful man of God. Somehow, I don't know how the heck it happened, but it worked. The one thing he was missing, even after we got into union, happened. So when I tell y'all, before you look at your counterpart and try to fit, try to fit into them or whatever, it's like, no. Take a moment and do your best to say, what do I really want? What do I really need? If you're saying, I don't know if this person is my person or not, write it down. And the truth is, you may, like I did, write some things down and think, you know what? Mr. Lightwork ain't this. And at that point, I actually did. I tried to date other people. I even went on a date with someone in front of Mr. Lightwork. Don't ask. It was all random. He was so jealous. It was ridiculous. Never mind. Anyways. And so it's like, and I didn't try to make him jealous. That's the crazy part, because by this point, I already knew that he had other women that he was, not dating, but you know what I mean? So it was like, why are you jealous for me being with a very attractive, very well-off guy? Like, what's the problem? And so, but that guy was actually a jerk. So what's funny is if I had heard about twin flames, I might have thought that guy was my twin flame, except he was so evil. He was so mean. Anyways, oh my gosh. My point is, I feel like I'm talking way too much about myself. I was supposed to be pulling a card for the divine feminists to figure out what it is that they need to be learning in the 3D, right? What was the question? Divine feminines in the 3D. Here's what you need to know about what it is that your divine counterpart triggered in you. There it is. What did your divine counterpart trigger in you when you guys first met that needs to be something that shifts in the 3D before you can really be in blissful union? This is for people even if you're together, even if you're talking. So let's see. 4 of Pentacles. You hold on too damn tight. Talk about clingy. You hold on too tight. 4 of Pentacles to me also says you have a little bit of a problem going too hard, being a little bit too extra before you actually take the time to think about it. You fall into your fear too quickly, or you jump into situations too quickly. But do you really take the time, and without just being like kind of rigid in my way or the highway? It's like you see this vision of what you want and then you go for it. And no matter how many brick walls you run into, you keep going, nope, this is it, this is it, this is it. It's not it. You're wrong. Let it go. Seriously, let go. Stop pushing. Stop begging. Stop clawing. If that's not you, that's not you. Again, you don't have to make other people feel bad if that's not who you are. But you have to realize something. I have 22,000 subscribers around the world. Everyone is different. Twin flames are not a monolith, and for you to ask me to only speak to you is disrespectful to my ministry. So if it doesn't fit you, it don't fit you. Good for you. I'm happy that that's not something you have to work on. But if it is, it ain't even like, oh, well, bad on you. It's not like that. You know what I mean? It's just like, look, assess yourself, assess the situation, be honest with who you are, and take a moment to really look at what you think it is that you want. Because if we see the Four of Pentacles right now, some of y'all are still holding on to the old vision. I had a client once, I think I might have talked to you guys about this before, but if not, whatever. But this was a really powerful moment. And it's funny because I've had the conversation with a few other people, but this person, this was one of my few calls. Every so often I have a phone call where I feel like, I don't know, maybe they wanted me to tell them they were going in a union. I don't know. You know what I mean? But you know what? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. I think this person might have ordered a session from me recently. So she's going to be like, how dare you? I'm just kidding. But I don't know why, but I think in that moment did not have the aha moments I thought we would have or something. I don't know what I was expecting, but I just felt like I hadn't served her well. I didn't. And then at the very end, and I'll admit, sometimes that happens when I have clients that are super chill. So I always have to like tell them in the call, like, forgive me if I get a little like, woo, because you're so chill. But anyways, at the end, I said, maybe the problem and the fear that you have about moving forward, whether you're in union or not, separation or not, is that you think that when you guys get back together, you're going to be with the same person that you were with before. But that's not the case. How many of you have been holding on to a plan about a divine masculine or a divine feminine that maybe you haven't seen in years? Maybe you haven't been around in months. You don't know what their job situation is. You don't know what their relationships look like. You don't know how they've been feeling, what they've been doing, what they've been thinking, how they've been growing. You don't know anything. But you're moving forward with this vision of being in a relationship with that person. So in the same way, when I wrote down my affirmations about Mr. Lightwork, and no, they weren't about him. They were about my twin flame, okay? But they ended up it was creepy actually how much they fit Mr. Lightwork by like a year from then. And then after that, it went so far. But it's like in that moment when you write it down, when you lay everything out, you're being honest with yourself. You're being open with yourself. And in that moment, you're also showing yourself where you might be missing some things or lacking. So when you ask, what is it that I really want, and really assess it, it also is going to help you discover who your person is and then recognize, you know what, I see their potentials. So I look at my list of affirmations, I go deep, I'm honest with myself about what I really want, and then I do kind of assess that my twin isn't there yet. Does that mean they're never going to get there? No. Does that mean that now that I've figured it out, they're going to change? No. All it means is I'm aware there's a gap. Maybe I see that the gap is really wide and it's going to take them a long time to be someone that's worth being in my life, that's not going to just tear me down, bring me down. And okay, I know it's going to be a while before we get into union. Great. I know something now. I'm not going to be sad about it. I'm not going to try to change it or force it. I understand they're not who I need them to be yet. And maybe being with me will stunt their growth because they'll just stay there. But maybe life will lead them where they need to be to get to me. Maybe you write everything down and you realize that they're actually more your person than you ever thought. But maybe you write it down and you realize it's just not my person. They're never going to be my person. This vision that I have of my future partner, husband, wife, whatever I want to call them, and the person that I'm with right now, they would have to change so drastically that it would be like being with a new person. That's the moment where you can release them. You can release who they were. And maybe you are wrong and they're not your twin, and you're going to end up with a person who fits the bill, but maybe you're right and they are, and now you'll know who that person will be. So that if they come back into your life, if they hit you up, if they contact you, you can then assess the situation. If they're acting the same, you can say to them, it was so good talking to you. You know, I hope everything's going well. You know, see you around, and move on. And if they come around and it's like, yes, wow, you just said some specific words and phrases, and all of a sudden your actions fit what I know I need and want in a partner, boom. Now you know you really are headed toward union. It's not always going to be, because a lot of you are in situations where it's going to require a miracle. You know what I mean? It's not always going to be like that. Sometimes it is just going to require space and time, and the miracle of time will allow these people to change, and you're going to meet them, and you holding on to the idea of who they were, or telling yourself that they're just perfect as they are and you don't need them to be better. You are not serving yourself, and the universe is not going to let you have that in your life. God is not going to be okay with you being treated that way, even if you're allowing it. So just start to think about these things and really decide, do I want to go down the path? Do I really want to know who my twin is? Well, my twin is in me. The seeds were planted before we ever got here. I know exactly what it is that I want in a person, what I think I need in a person. And if I focus on that and I build and I work with that image, yeah, it might change a little bit, because maybe I grow, and maybe you do one right now where you look at it and you go, ooh, you know what? Why would I want that? That's not healthy. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to change that. I'm going to morph that. But again, I have a pretty good idea of what my person needs to be. And then it just helps you assess the situation better. When you figure out what it is you really want and need, at least in this moment, it will give you more clarity than just moving forward, praying, hoping, and wishing that that is your person because you've decided to cling to that person. Let them go. Let the belief go. Let the feeling go. Let everything go until only you is left. And when you are the only thing left, look at yourself. Look at the whole you, and make sure that whoever comes into your life is actually worth it. Mr. Lightwork, in spite of all the things that he did that hurt me and put me through pain and blah, 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 even when he was not in his fullness as he is now, he was even worth it then. But truly, honestly, I feel like if I had met Mr. Lightwork at a worse time in his life, he would have never had a chance. And it's so funny because we live in the same town, we grew up in the same area, like everything, but we never ran into each other. Never. Until somehow it just crashed and our whole lives crashed. He actually had moved in with some roommates at one point that, like, a month before I had even known they were friends, I had interviewed them on a show that I was producing. I mean, crazy stuff like that. So when I tell you everything comes together, it does. It will. It works. You can't force it. You can't change the path. You can't manifest it. It's just going to come. It's just going to happen. That's my belief. If you don't believe the same, that's okay. But if you do, be at peace knowing that. Be at peace, okay? All right, let me see what else we got, huh? I feel extra called out. Yes, some of y'all feel that way and you get upset. Some of y'all feel it and you're like, you know what? That's how I know this is real. Because I just popped in and thought I was going to get me a personal. And then this lady read my whole life in 30 seconds. I know. I get it. And again, it's not me. Y'all aren't drawn to me because I'm so special. I'm the best. I'm amazing. It's like, no. You are drawn to my channel because you're drawn to reunion vibes. You're drawn to ascension energy. You're drawn to light workers. Come on. It's not about me. I am literally a vessel. Like, that's it. I'm just a vessel for the gifts. Nothing else. What else we got? Okay, come on. Oh, Katie, thank you. Ooh, different cultural backgrounds. Now, that's interesting. Ooh. Okay, so what do you do if you're 99% sure that your person, like the person you believe is your person, would never see you as their person? Okay, so and again, I have some clients who I know you're gonna feel called out, but please remember that the only way that you can be outed is if you out yourself. Okay, I've never given up any of my clients before. That's extremely disrespectful. But you sign up, and you, by the way, just so you guys know, I've got terms and conditions and a user agreement. If you ever want to check it out on my website, just go to Covenant. Go to my website, search Covenant, find the word Covenant, and you can read all about it. But as a part of that, when you come into a live chat, have a personal reading with me, and open yourself up to the Twin Flame Collective, this is a tribal collective community ministry. Your information might get put out, okay? Okay. So look. Oh my gosh. I have had some clients. Sorry, I was just thinking about people getting upset and I was giggling to myself. I don't know why. So I have had some clients who they think that they are just not their person's type. It's very simple, not like a big thing, you know what I mean? Just like, oh yeah, I'm just not their type. They have some that they know they're not their type, like culturally or racially, okay, right? So maybe I'm white, they're black, vice versa. There are some couples that they know they're not their type financially, right? I'm rich or poor, blah, blah, blah. I have kids and they don't like kids. I have some people who they think that their person is gay or straight and their person thinks they're gay or straight, like basically like kind of opposing there. And so there's some issues of the, sexual orientation. And so there's all kinds of twins out there who honestly, they don't even know if their person's their person, but they think they're their person. So it's like, what do you do in those situations? Here's my thing. Number one, unless that person has point blank told you, you're not my type, I would never want to be with someone like you, I'm not attracted to you, I'm married, leave me alone, like that kind of thing. Someone just said age gap, right? You're older than me, you're younger than me, it can never happen. The first thing I would tell you, honestly, and I know you don't want to hear this, but please listen to the whole thing before you just go crazy, okay? There's that word again, right? If you have someone say to you, it will never happen, listen. Believe them and move on with your life like it will never happen. Does that mean that if you do that, and that since you listen to them and believe them, that means that even if they're your real twin, that it's over? No. Live your life like it will mean it, like it means it, like they mean it, I mean. Live your life like that. Because if they are your true twin, then what's happening is God is trying to set y'all up to have a little fairy tale moment. A moment, the whole airport thing, the coming to find you in another country, whatever. Think about that before you just assume that it must not be, but also live your life assuming that, you know what, they told me point blank, it's a no. So if they Randy Jackson you, it's a no for me, dog. Say, okay, all right, it's a no. And I'm going to live my life that way. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. There's nothing you can do to stop it, all right? But if they've never actually said it, and you've got a self-esteem issue, or that maybe now here's the thing. Like I have a client that I've worked with a lot, and then I have a client that I've worked with a little bit. So I have a couple different clients. I usually have more than one client in a unique situation. Like I have a few clients that have only met their divine counterpart in the 5D. I only have one that believes that like they will never probably be together. I have one that like believes that they will, but not yet. So it's all 5D interaction. I have all kinds of clients, but the clients I'm talking about right now, sorry, focus, Grace. I have one client that I've worked with a little bit who feels like their person doesn't know they're gay or just isn't admitting that they're gay. And then I have one client who I've worked with a lot, but for a very long time. And that client tells me a year into working together that they always get it wrong. And I'm like, they just randomly said it in the middle of a reading. And I was like, huh? What do you mean you always get it wrong? They're like, yeah, I always do this. What? What do you always do? Well, I kind of have a thing for straight people. What do you mean you have a thing for straight people? Well, I've just noticed that. So you waited a year after trying to get me to help you figure out what to do in this situation where you think this person is straight or gay or whatever. You know what I mean? Only to tell me that you always do this to yourself, that you always accidentally, that your gaydar is completely wrong. So again, take a moment, guys. I know it's hard sometimes when we don't want it to be us, or we don't want to really go there. It's hard to go down the scary hallway, go down into the cave, whatever you want to call it. Take a moment and do it. Just take a moment and ask yourself, okay, what is this person really saying? Or what am I really thinking? Because again, if you have self-esteem issues and you've never even spoken to your person about how you feel or whatever, it's probably just you. They probably don't even know you like them, or if they do, maybe they like you too. Oh my gosh, you guys. I had a crush on this person from the age of 13 off, like 13 to like 15 hard, and then from like 15 to like 23 off and on randomly. This is this person that I end up like becoming friends with when we are in our mid 20s. This mother blanker tells me he's had a crush on me since we were in high school. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, I thought we were talking. Now, mind you, I was always so embarrassed because I really thought this guy liked me, and then he had like a girlfriend shortly after, and we became friends, and I was like, wow, I have no idea who likes me. I'm the worst. So anyways, so he was like, yeah, I had a crush on you, but you told me you would pimp me. I, in 10th grade, told this guy I liked that he was so fine, I would pimp him. And he was an idiot because he thought that that meant I would cheat on him. And I told him when we were like 23, 24, I was like, excuse me, no, that meant that I would hoe you out. So me and this guy never got together because he was an idiot. No, I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry. But I'm serious. Sometimes you really don't know if someone actually likes you or not. Sometimes you really don't know if someone isn't into you. You might have heard someone make a statement like, oh yeah, I don't know if I could ever date someone outside my race. Maybe they were baiting you, and maybe they thought you felt that way and they wanted you to correct them. But then you heard them and you shut down like, oh, my dreams are over. And now y'all both foolish. All I'm saying is don't be foolish, okay? Don't be foolish on one extreme. If you think they're into you and they clearly are not, and you're being obsessive and stalker and creepy, and if you could write down, take a second and think about it. Write down everything you've done over the past 6 months, year, 10 years, whatever. Okay, I've driven by their house that I shouldn't even have had their address because I searched for it. Because I know property records are public records. My mom was the queen of that. My mom is such a stalker. She's so obnoxious. My mom has to know everything. And that was her favorite thing. Anybody bought a house? Oh, I'm gonna go look up the square footage. Why? You're so rude. Okay, so look, I want you to see. Okay, think about it. I stalked them. I text them constantly. I send them long messages when they've asked me to leave them alone. I don't give them space, blah, 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 right? Go through. And then I want you to change it to my stalker looked up my address and came to my house. My stalker, change I to my stalker and watch what happens. You will no longer think your divine masculine or divine feminine is rude for being offended by your behavior. You will realize when the shoe fits, okay, walk like a duck, talk like a duck, you are being that person. If that's what you're doing, okay? So just remember that. But if your person has never told you that they liked you, shoot your freaking shot. Shoot your shot, man. Are you crazy? Shoot your shot. If you don't know if they know, if you are really shy and have always been shy, if you are passive aggressive as hell and you know it, where my Libras at? No, I'm just kidding. I have a Libra client who heard me say something about Libras like 2 years ago in one of my readings. And she says she always gives me a hard time for it because I talked about my mom once being a Libra. And so that was for her. I don't know if she'll hear this. Anyways, she's probably asleep. But yeah, but it's like, yeah. If you know that you have a way about you, if you've always been the girl or the guy who has crushes or always been friend zoned, you're the common denominator. Do you understand? I think that might probably be the most important message that you can get from me and Mr. Lightwork. If you're the common denominator and you're ignoring that, then you're never going to make it better. So come on, get over yourself. All right, come on, go ahead and ask me some questions. I know that, what is this about? Look, man, I don't know what y'all be talking about, but sometimes. All right, what else we got here, guys? Oh, yes, you guys, I'm very funny. And that's another thing. You guys got to let readers be themselves, okay? They're just people, right? I understand that we're YouTube creators and like when you follow a page and a channel, you kind of start to expect things. I get it. You know what I mean? But it's like, come on, man. Just give me a chance here. All right? All right. Anyways, let me leave people alone. Let's see. Hmm, hmm. Okay, I saw somebody say something about the whole Christian Jewish thing. Y'all, I got that. I got you. Muslim, Christian, Jewish Muslim. Oh, that's tough. Hindi and Muslim. I know that there's, boy, religious beliefs are a bit, right? Like, oh my man. Ugh. All right. Here's the thing. I think that there can be a beautiful balance that can come. And before I got with Mr. Lightwork, I was the type that believed that if the person I was dating wasn't a Christian, because before I was a Messianic Jewish person, I was a Christian person. And I felt like it was really important for us to have the same beliefs just because of how y'all know how I am. Like, I'm not even like a Jesus thumper, what is it, Bible thumper, Jesus freak or whatever. Like I literally just, God is so much a part of my life. I just talk about it a lot. So if you're around me, you're going to be like, okay, like Mr. Lightwork, like realize I'm not preachy. It's just me, a part of me. I always bring up God. It's just how I live. I remember one time I had gone to marriage counseling with my ex-husband and we were talking to her about God and she said, oh, what does God have to do with anything? And we both kind of looked at her like, look, you lost us, ma'am, because it's just what we believe. So I get where on one side, some of you can probably relate to that, right? Like, yeah, being in the same belief system, you kind of speak the same language, and then when you're in like a spiritual vibe like we are, where it's like, okay, well, you're a Christian, I'm Muslim, I'm actually an atheist, I don't believe this, and it's like everybody kind of has their own beliefs. It's like we want to be more open to it, but that it's different when it's about a relationship. So I really understand that even if we're all under the same like Abrahamic religions, like whatever, I get that we want to lean into the connection, but then there's also a part of us that completely understands the separation. And so I just want you to understand that it's not always going to be easy when we have these differences, but it doesn't mean that it's not possible. So when I met Mr. Lightwork and found out that he was basically like, he wasn't even anything. He was so anti-beliefs that he couldn't even call himself an atheist. You know what I mean? I guess, what is it, agnostic? I don't know. He kind of claimed that once he figured out it was a thing. But he was just like, it's whatever. And for me, it was kind of hard. Like, how do I connect with this person? And then I kind of felt like I was holding back, trying not to offend him just by being myself because I talk about God a lot. So I really get where even in the beginning of the relationship, when I just kind of said, you know what, obviously it's not that big of a deal. I just got divorced from someone who we were in church 7 days a week, no, 6 days a week, or synagogue, it's like, it was tough. But guess what? Mr. Lightwork and I are the same belief now. And so it's really hard to sit here and tell you that it's not going to be important. But it's also easy for me to say it doesn't mean it's an impossibility. And being twin flames and having kind of that, sometimes we do have that like polar opposition. There may be something really beautiful that comes out of it. Like maybe you really inspire each other to become more into your own beliefs. Plus, and again, not really, but I think that if they're a secular Jewish person, they may not be as worried about you being Christian. But again, if they're really into their culture, even a little bit, just from when I spent a lot of time in the Jewish culture over the past 5 years, it's like, yeah, Christian girls, Jewish girls, you know what I mean? Like there is a difference, and it's just because, again, of the cultural difference. Jewish people tend to, in order to keep their culture, want people to marry a Jewish girl or a Jewish boy, all that through the mother lineage, all these things. And so even to say, well, Christians believe in the Old Testament, it's like, that's not even what they call it, right? So even having the similarities, it's still really hard, you guys. So what could happen is you could end up still getting with someone who has a different religious belief, or even like an atheist and a Christian or something like that getting together. It's not impossible. And what would happen to make it beautiful, and here's what your strategy should be if you know that it's not going to change and neither of you will convert, is go into it saying, okay, just like every other part of us being twin flames is about helping us ascend and become better, clearly this is going to be something where we have opposing ideas and it's going to be creating a challenge point between us. So instead of allowing it to kill us, let's help it make us stronger. I'm going to help you become a better Muslim, Christian, Jewish, atheist, whatever, and you're going to help me become a better whatever I am. And we're going to share with each other and inspire each other and help each other learn about the other groups. So maybe you grew up thinking all Christians were freaking psychopaths, and now you get to be around me and you think, oh, maybe they're not so bad. Maybe that's just the most important thing, right? Is for you to learn that. Whatever it is, I don't think that you have to have the same background, but I will tell you, if you don't, you're going to have to be beyond respectful with each other. You're going to have to make sure, especially like as a Christian who grew up Baptist, y'all, they were really mean to Jewish people. Most of the churches I went to, you know, the Jews killed Jesus. That's what they would say. But I found out later that I'm actually Jewish. So I think I always really had obsession with Italy. And then I found out I was Italian. You know what I mean? So it's like, I always knew I was Jewish. And I think that's why I never was able to look at them the same way. But a lot of Christians kind of grew up not even thinking about the fact that Jesus was Jewish. And so it's very easy for us to make little comments, little snide remarks about what other people believe, not even thinking we're doing it or recognizing that we have that in us. So it's going to test you. It's going to make you stronger. And it could even make you a better blank, right? Whatever you are. But again, you cannot expect conversion, and you cannot expect it to be easy just because you love each other. Religion is a whole lot, right? It's like, let's not even. So I hope that anybody who hears this can take a moment and think about it, especially if you do have different, and ask yourself, are you willing to be with someone who is a different belief than you? And if you are, how far does that go? How far does that extend? Does that mean you have to participate in their traditions or not? Does that mean that you have to, do they have to come to church with you or not? I know for a lot of Christians, it's hard when maybe they're with someone. They could even be with a Christian, but if that Christian doesn't believe that you have to go to church, well, then they go to church and they're embarrassed. Oh, where's your husband? Where's your wife? You know what I mean? So just ask yourself, what are you willing to put up with? What are you willing to deal with? How far are you willing to go? And if you find yourself thinking, I can do that, I can handle that, don't assume that just because you get there that you're going to be able to handle it. You may be wrong. Think about it. That's the first step. And then once you get into it, prepare for the worst. Prepare for those feelings. Prepare for the sadness. Prepare for the pain. That way, if it does come, then you can deal with it and you can really assess the situation head on when you're in it, because sometimes it can change. Okay. All right. I think that's good enough for that. But I do think that was a really important part, and an important part of being a twin flame, like in a global community, is you just never know, especially as we're meeting people online and stuff. You just never know who you're going to connect with. I think the most important thing is to be as respectful and kind as possible. I know in America, after 9/11, we got really, really mean, like probably meaner than ever to Muslims in particular. After coronavirus, we got really, really mean to, Asian people in general. Just if you look like you could be from Asia, oh, it's on, I'm mean to you now. So it's like, I know that probably other countries have experienced the same thing where certain groups kind of get picked on. And I've seen it. I've seen what it does. I've seen what hate breeds. And I'm telling you, you can't be a part of that. You just can't. You cannot look at any human being that bleeds blood, any type of blood. Some people be like, I got blue blood, whatever. Do they bleed? Do they feel pain? Are they anything like you? Well, then guess what? Love them. Seriously, that's it. That's it. That's all it is. And if a part of loving that person means respecting that you guys will not be able to have a relationship because it just won't work, love them. That might not be your person. Let that go, okay? All right, let's keep going. Aw, thank you, Crystal. All right, let's see. Texting and phone calls. Perspective, okay. Ghosted. Let's see what else y'all got. What if your twin doesn't believe in twin flames at the moment? Oh, this is very important. Your twin flame does not have to believe in twin flames to be your twin flame. Your twin flame does not have to believe in twin flames to be an ascended being. Your twin flame does not have to believe in twin flames at any point in your lifetime in order for you to recognize you are on mission. It's a public service announcement. Does that help anybody? Because I feel like, oh, see, we got a few people that left. Like, nope, I want it my way. I want my twin to know. I want my twin to see what I see, believe what I believe. No, I'll be the one to tell you no, 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 no. I love you, but no, okay? You're not always going to believe the same stuff. And that includes twin flames. I want you guys to understand something. Mr. Lightwork believes in twin flames enough, but Mr. Lightwork does not believe in twin flames like we do. And for you to say, oh, well, I think I should go unfollow Mr. Lightwork is exactly why you should go unfollow Mr. Lightwork. You're not ready for what we've got to give you. You should unfollow me too. If you think that because Mr. Lightwork isn't like all the way in, that's go on and get. You're not going to get our information. Everything we say is going to rub you the wrong way. And I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. So go on and get. But those of you who are like, look at that. Mr. Lightwork doesn't believe fully in whatever way. I don't know his level of belief. That's not my space to judge, right? I just know that he don't believe like I believe. He don't believe like we believe, right? Mr. Lightwork somehow is still able to provide amazing, incredible insights and wisdom into the twin flame dynamic, into your personal relationships. You guys know Mr. Lightwork does emails, he does phone sessions, he does pre-recorded videos, and he also will join me on readings sometimes. Mr. Lightwork does not have to believe what you or I believe in order to bless you. Do you understand that? So please stop expecting so much of your will to be done in your divine counterpart's life. Stop it. Stop doing that. That's a quick little message. What do people who are missing the point about what twin flames are all about need to understand on a spiritual level? Let it go. Your beliefs have to change. And the first change is you letting go of the old belief. You're not going to be able to get the new information until you get the old information out. Okay. That reminds me of this story. I'll tell you guys, and some of you need to hear this because it's not just about your twin flames. I think it's also about your light work and other aspects of your growth. So I think it was Steve Harvey told this story. So I'm going to just tell it from like my perspective, but just so you guys know, some of you might have heard him tell the story. So maybe you can even find it, like Google it and hear the actual story. So he's like, yeah, I had a car. It didn't work, but I had a car. It was sitting out on blocks in the driveway or like somewhere out in the front of the house. And I was living with my grandma. I was young and I was working. I had just got a job. I told my grandma, oh, I'm gonna get me a new car. I'm gonna get me a new car. And my grandma, she was like, okay, baby. She just didn't even care. Like, okay, whatever you say. And she just kind of wrote it off. Like, whatever. And he kept telling her, he would work. Oh, made me a little money, grandma. I'm getting me a new car. I'm gonna get me a new car. Now, mind you, he still has the old car sitting in the driveway on blocks. So finally, he says, he sold the car. Like he gets it towed or he gets it taken out or someone goes and he gets it. And he tells his grandma, yeah, grandma, I'm gonna get me a new car. And she says, I know you are, baby. And he says, now wait a minute, grandma, why is it that all these other times when I told you I was gonna get me a new car, you said, oh, sure. But why is it that now you said you believe me? She said, because you got rid of the car that you had sitting in the driveway. You already had a car. You already had something sitting out there. You had to make the room, the space for the new car. And so I feel like some of you are holding on to old versions of your divine counterpart. I'm not even talking about exes, family wounds. I'm talking about holding on to the beat down version of your counterpart in your head. And you're so afraid to let that go. You're like, what if I need it for parts? You don't need any part of that person in your life anymore. You don't. All you need is what God has for you tomorrow. And it's already waiting for you there. Let it go. You have to get rid of it before you can move forward. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, 11/11 is not necessarily a day. It's not like, I can't remember what country it is, but is it one of the South Korea? I can't remember, but isn't there, maybe it happened in China. I don't remember now. I just remember it was a country in Asia where they had this mass wedding ceremony. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? If somebody knows what I'm talking about. Was it? Yeah. So anyways, where it was like all these people met and got married in like a big old like open area all together at the same time. No, I do not believe that that is what 1111 is. And I wish that we could stop needing the syncs and signs and the numerology and the energies to all fit our union goals. Okay? It's not always going to be about you the way you think, okay? So, I'm going to tell you what I believe 1111 is and really what I believe every portal in 2020 has been. 2020 has been a year of unlocking all the keys, kingdom keys, if you will. Someone just said Lionsgate. Crystal said Lionsgate. Yes, we've got the Lionsgate. That's 8-8. And just think, every month of every year, you're going to have a 1-1, a 2-2, 3-3, 4-4, all the way through. But this year was 2020. And so I think it's important for you to recognize this year opened up a portal that was bigger than just those little portals. It opened up the portal that we're going to walk through when we head into 2021, which technically many of us are already walking through. It's like if you think about parting the Red Sea, when the sea was split in two, it began to close like behind the people. And so these people were walking into the water and coming out of it as it was kind of like it would close behind them. I can't explain what I'm seeing. I guess I don't even know if that's really what happened, but that's what I'm seeing for some reason. I'm seeing that some people are in the front and some people are in the back, right? Not everyone could walk into that open space in where it was split for them to move into the new thing first. So don't be like, oh, me first, me first. Why am I not walking through the portal first? It's like, who cares? We're all going to go through the portal. Just walk, just go forward. So some of you already feel like it. Some of you already feel like you're in 2021. So I believe 1111 in particular, because of the fact that it's 2020, is going to be a massive portal. Like probably the one that finally opens it up all the way to get us into 2021. On that day, I do believe that there will be a spiritual shift for every single twin flame everywhere. I'm talking whether or not you are in union or if you've never even met your twin. I'm talking about people who will probably watch this message 2-3 years from now. Every single person that is a twin flame will receive an activation of energy on 1111. For some reason, I am doing this with my hand. I feel like a politician. So you get a, what is it? You get the new energy in, you get the new energy in, you get the new energy. So I do believe that on 1111, there will be many, many people who go into union. However, I believe that the unions have been happening since October. They've really been happening all year. We've been kind of ramping up to this point. But I really believe that as we come into 2021, we're going to have seen a massive wave of people coming into union. Here's the problem. Many of you who are either new or many of you who have been a part of this for a while don't believe readers when they tell you, and you don't believe that those people exist. But I know, because I have people who will check in with me and they'll say, Grace, I miss you. I love you. I stopped watching tarot when I got into union. And I'm like, oh, snap. I've noticed you were missing. Because you guys know, like, if I see your name enough, you know what I mean? I know you in a way. You know me better than I know you, but I know you enough. And so it's like, they do. But when they get into union, they don't stick around. And here's the truth. You want to know, and some of you have experienced this. I'm not trying to give anybody a hard time. Some of you have watched readers. So I don't like it when readers use my channel to try to grow their channel. I think it's so silly. Like, that is not the way you do this. You don't go to other car dealerships, driving the car from your dealership going, hey guys, come on down the street. I got this car down there. You don't do that. Let people find you as they're supposed to find you, please. But anyways, you'll have people come in and they'll say, oh guys, hey, great, I'm in union now. And then guess what? And again, not to make fun of anybody, but what happens a week later? Oh, hey guys, it wasn't real union. It was pseudo union, or it was, again, not to give anybody a hard time, but it's the truth. People who come in and tell you that they've been in union often within a week will come back and say it was a false alarm. And that's why a lot of you don't believe it. A lot of you don't believe it's possible because you don't see twins in union on YouTube. Mr. Lightwork and I think that, like I said, there's probably like 4 or 5 like main couples that people know, but for the most part, most people are in separation. There's a lot of bitterness in readers that are in separation. I found that when I first started reading. That's another reason why I started this channel. I felt like you guys needed the truth and the light, okay? And so think about that. A lot of the energies that you guys are, stepping into and being around and walking through and all of that, and even the energy you have within, it's just, it's not good. Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay. No. How do I? Oh, no. Hold on. Let me see. My phone is frozen, guys. You guys can't tell, but I can tell. Hold on. Uh-oh. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay, so again, sorry. Back to what I was saying. Just know that the energy for 11/11 and beyond, and as we, especially next year. Oh, by the way. So I didn't talk about this because, again, I understand that I have people on both sides of things. And so I have clients of all types, all ages, all races, all creeds. Again, I have to be very cautious about what I talk about because I know people get offended easily when they're sensitive and they're in their growth phase where they maybe take things personally. So I have to be very careful. One thing I did not talk about at all was the election, was anything related to politics. I just want to point something out. Actually, somebody said this. So I'm just going to read to you guys what they said in their comment. Hopefully I can find it. I get so many dang comments. Oh dear. Maybe this was a bad idea. Oh, you know what? I think I'll be able to see it because I responded and I normally, here, perfect. Ha. Okay. She said, I thought about you today when I heard about the election announcement. Divine partnerships activated. Woman, you be knowing. Thank you for the seeds that blossom into abundance. I'm very grateful. Sean, I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for your membership too. I love y'all who pay attention and watch my old readings or watch even my new readings and then call me out and say, Grace, I hear you. I see you. Thank you. And so this was appreciated. Why? Because I can't talk about some of this stuff without offending people and starting arguments in the chat, I don't talk about it. But what I've been trying to tell you guys, and maybe some of you will see it now, 2021 is the year of the twin flame. What are the odds that the most powerful country in the world, according to most, don't argue, let's just whatever. According to most people, the most powerful seats in the world and the most powerful people in the world are now a elder majority, okay, aka old white man, and then a youthful minority, aka a young black person or brown person or whatever. What are the odds that we have not only a male, masculine energy, but a feminine energy? What are the odds? I did not say this was the year of the twin flames. I've been telling you guys repeatedly, go watch an old reading. 2018 was the year of the divine feminine. 2019 was the year of divine feminine. 2020 was the year of divine masculine. 2021 is the year of the twin flames. I've been telling you guys repeatedly. If you're missing what I'm saying, sometimes I ask you guys, and I'll ask any of you who ever do this, prove it. If I said something, go back and tell me where. And usually what will happen is people will go back to the reading that they think they heard it, and then they'll comment and they'll go, you were right, Grace, my bad. So again, okay. But I just want you to think about it. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, please, can we just keep the nonsense to ourselves? This is not meant to be that kind of discussion. Ignore the feelings that you have in the 3D and hear what I'm saying from a 5D perspective. Okay. This is a challenge for all of you. Somehow, in America, for the first time, we have a feminine energy in the most powerful place, some people say, in the world. First time ever. As someone has been trying to tell y'all for years what was approaching. Thank you guys for noticing. Thank you guys for hearing me. Thank you guys for hearing me when some of y'all knew. I didn't know it was going to be a freaking virus, but I knew something was going to happen this year. I didn't know because I'm special. I know because God wants me to tell y'all things. So when you listen, make sure when you listen to me and anyone else that you put aside your 3D. Put aside your feelings for a second, because that anger, that frustration, that separation energy that's being put out there, all it's going to do is keep you from the truth and the messages you're supposed to be hearing. It doesn't matter who you think it should have been. It is what it is. You hear me? It is what it is. So just do your best to get through this energy the best you can if you don't like it. And if you are happy, don't gloat. Do you understand me? If you're not happy, don't be a dick. And if you are happy, don't gloat. Both of you, don't be dicks. Nobody be dicks. Everybody put your dicks away, okay? Everybody take a moment and ask yourself, now that we're here, now that it is what it is, how am I going to make the best of what I've got? How am I going to make the best of the energy? How am I going to be who I have to be in this time? I'm not going to sit here and get caught up in the nonsense and the drama, because guess what? Every moment I give to that, I'm losing a chance to be the light. Some of you need to ask yourself, if you lean into your political stuff too much, ask yourself, has that influenced your light work in a negative way? You know what I mean? Find it. Maybe you're all supposed to be activists and you know what I mean? Sure, political stuff, sure. But are you doing it the right way? Maybe this period of time could have actually shown you what fault you have, what flaws you have, and how to go about doing things in the right way, okay? So just think about these things. All right, so no dicks, guys. Okay. Let's see what else we got. So that was just my little thing about the year of the twin flame. I appreciate Sean for noticing. I'm sure more of you have. Many people actually comment from time to time about the things that I state and the prophetic information that comes out. And y'all want me to be like, I have a prophecy. Everyone, I am Professor, what's her name? Trelawney? I am the professor with the goggle eyeglasses from Harry Potter, and I'm having a vision, so now my voice is deeper and I sound different. Everyone listen. It's not going to be like that. I'm going to just say stuff in the middle of the dang reading, and you going to hear it. And you'll be like, dang, she was right. So do yourself a favor. Take the woo-woo out of your spirituality just a tad bit. And take the ego out of your 3D just a tad bit. Bring yourself back into balance so that you can hear the messages that come. They shouldn't have to be big old signs on the wall. Okay, guys? You should be able to get messages. You should be able to learn to hear the still small voice. Okay? Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Let me see. Who gave me? Why? Okay. Hi, Katie again. Why do they resist revealing emotions and deny the connection, yet they keep coming back? Oh, Katie. Okay, raise your hand. I'm gonna repeat the question. Go ahead and just raise a little hand in the chat if you felt this, if you've had the same question. Ready? Where to go? Oh man. Where'd it go? Okay. Ready, everybody? Listen to the question and just say something to affirm if you've ever had this question. Why do they, divine counterparts, resist revealing emotions and deny the connection, yet they keep coming back? Why do they resist revealing emotions and deny the connection, yet they keep coming back? Why? Raise your hand. Just raise your hand. Look around. You know why? Because they're the divine masculines. I'm assuming that's who you're talking about, Katie. Now, the truth is, there are male and female divine masculines, male and female divine feminines. And sometimes, even then, it's not as black and white as you're going to think. But for the most part, the divine masculine energy, whether it's a male, female, or other that is embodying that, is not really going to lean into their emotions most of the time. But it doesn't mean they aren't in love with you. It doesn't mean that they aren't intrigued by you. It doesn't mean that they don't care about you. It doesn't mean that they're not totally into you. In fact, let me tell you about my DM. And let me tell you about 90% of the divine masculines in the readings that I do. You want to know the real truth? They're into you and they hate it. They want you in their life and they hate it. Why? 8 of Cups in reverse, because they're not ready to leave behind the things that they need to leave behind in order to be with you. And then you have the nerve to be so damn great and hot and sexy and beautiful and smart and freaking spiritual. You always know everything and you just make them feel so good. You have the nerve to be perfect when they're not trying to leave their life behind. How dare you? How dare you make me feel my emotions? How dare you make me bleed my own blood? That's how these DMs feel. They keep coming back because in their weakest moments, they need you. In their weakest moments, they need you. In their strongest moments, they fear you. That is their ego. They have no other way to respond. Understand? You understand? Katie got me over here getting triggered. because sometimes I do feel like divine feminines, male or female, ask some. Now, Katie, don't. I'm not judging you. That's not a silly question. It's really not, because it's the truth. But I also feel like, coming from a person that like hung out with dudes my whole life, I get frustrated sometimes when divine feminines ask me questions. And again, even male divine feminines, like straight male divine feminines, ask these questions. And it's like, now let me ask you a question, sir. You are a straight male divine feminine. You are fully aware that the reason you're considered a divine feminine is because you've been very much in touch with your feminine side. You most likely are telling me, because that's usually what they say, that it's clear the opposite is true for your counterpart, right? They're usually in touch with their divine masculine side. They're more masculine. You know how dudes are. That's why you know that you're a more feminine dude, because you know you are probably not like dudes in most ways. So if you know how dudes are, and you know how women are, and you know what I mean? If you know these things, sometimes I feel like y'all need me to come in and give you that big brother, big sister energy that I have sometimes. That kind of androgynous, like, because sometimes I do feel like I come into these readings thinking I'm speaking to you as a divine feminine, but I realize more often than not, it's my inner DM that's talking to you. My inner DM gets fiery with you and passionate with you, and even makes you get triggered like your DM triggers you, which is why so many of you guys keep coming back. But it's true. Some of y'all aren't thinking from enough of a 3D place because you've made everything 5D, and then some of you only think 3D and nothing 5D gets through. Find your balance, y'all. Find your balance. Okay, what else we got? Let me see. Ooh, Kanban said, we literally have them wrapped around our little finger. Think of how fast union could happen if we just let go and believe and focus on us. This is where Fiery Grace continues to trigger you and tell you, start your light work, start your light work, start your light work, start your light work. If you focus on yourself, as I did, okay? Y'all don't believe me? Guess what? I started my channel when me and Mr. Lightwork were in separation, okay? I started my channel in August. I didn't start posting until October. And Mr. Lightwork and I ended up in union. We were still like living together and stuff, but we were not in like physical union. Like in, how do I say that? We were not in spiritual union, I guess. By January, I really gave up on everything, focused on my light work, focused on the channel. By March, I had to quit all my other contracts because I could not keep up with demand. From October to January, it was like whatever, normal kind of small business getting started. My business blew up when I decided to focus on my business. I tell you guys, be the Queen of Pentacles. Get yourself a hobby. Get yourself your light work started. Get your whatever business or philanthropy or ministry or organization you've already built, level up. When you pour energy, pure, positive, holy, whatever you want to call it, energy, kadosh, kadosh, pour it in. When you do it, all of a sudden, that energy pours into the rest of your life. And the divine masculine gets obsessed with you. Now, I'm not trying to make you go start your light work as if it's some sort of love spell. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want, I wish that you guys that do this would stop leaning into anything that sounds good just because you're so desperate for union. You know what I mean? I wish that those of you who tend to be like that could move past that part of yourself that typically does that. That goes, oh, so you're saying if I just, I don't even know. I'm trying to think of something good because I was thinking about like prosperity preachers, like drink this holy water 4 times a day for the next 600 days and you will have a perfect 400-year life. And it's like, wait, what? And like, how much is each vial? $45. And you're like, oh my gosh, well, I guess it's worth it. If I'm gonna live 400 years, that's an investment. It's like, stop doing that. Stop trying to buy snake oil from readers and stop asking readers to give you snake oil. Stop asking us to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to keep saying it. Okay. What else we got? What else we got? Okay. So what's up, Kristen? How you doing? Thinking about, okay. So you're not the first person who's asked this. And even if you hadn't have paid, I think I would have answered anyways, but thank you for the donation. I say that because several people have asked a question like this. Should I move on? You know, I'm not sure if it's my not exactly like your same question, but again, the kind of that, do I walk away? Or, you know, is this a mistake? Is this the right thing? Whatever. All of you have to be so careful because what if I am like, sure. And I pick a card and I'm like, oh, yeah, and I misinterpret it. Now, Kristen is a different type of divine feminine. I know Kristen. So Kristen, I know you're not going to do that, right? But some people will. Some people will say, ooh, someone asked my question. Someone paid for my question. So I'm going to take the card as mine. And then they go with whatever the reader says. Don't do this to yourself, you guys. Don't ask questions like, and I think Kristen's is not as far in. That's why I think I would have answered your question anyways, because it's not as deep as some others. But some people will literally ask a reader and be like, hey, should I walk away? And it's like, you would really trust that person? I think some of you want the person to say yes, and some of you want the person to say no, right? Like some of you are afraid to leave your person behind and you feel guilty and you don't want to feel bad. So you think if you have someone else tell you yes, that it's okay. Some of you don't want to leave your person and you just need anyone. You go from reading to reading. Again, this is not what Kristen's doing, but some of you will. Some of you recognize the people who go from reading to reading because you watch multiple readings, you participate in multiple live chats, and you see the people that come in and do the same thing in every reader's reading. Can I get a free personal reading? Can you tell me when my DM's coming back? Should I stay? Should I go? Is this my person? Is it not? You should not trust anyone with such a big decision just because they have cards, okay? However, I think this is a great question. So she says, I'm thinking about moving, and this is where I think it's different, okay? I'm thinking about moving to give my twin flame dynamic a better chance at union and also to get out of my toxic life here. Would that be a mistake? See, a bit different, okay? And I think this is an important question because it also, if you take it a step further, a lot of twins feel this way. They might not actually try to move, but they're thinking about like what moves to make next, if that makes any sense, right? So it's really just about the next step. Now, in this case, Kristen's case would be to actually like physically move, right? Okay. So when you're thinking about making choices in terms of giving yourself a better chance at union, I think the question you really need to ask is, would I regret this 5 years from now? I always say 5 years because many of you can think about a good example of why or where 5 years is like the breaking point, right? A lot of people know, if you can make it 5 years in a marriage, you might actually be able to make it, but most marriages end at 5. Mine did end at 5 years in the relationship. So, okay. Anyways, 5 years at companies, 5 years this, 5 years that. 5 years is a good amount of time to allow things to pass. If you looked forward, Christian, and anyone else who's thinking about moving or any decision that is a life choice, a life decision specifically for being a twin flame or part of being a twin flame or your twin flame dynamic or whatever, whether it's moving away or towards, because it could be both, right? Sometimes people assume it's all going to be, oh, I'm going to move closer, right? I'm going to move into her apartment complex so we can run into each other. It's like, no, what if Kristen talk about moving elsewhere? You never know, right? So some people do. They say, would it be okay for me to leave? Would it be okay for me to go? In 5 years, go consult your 5-year self. Hey, 5-year self, how you doing? You're 40 now. So what's up? Do you regret leaving or staying or taking that job? Do you regret? And the truth is, if you can find a way to do manifestation work and affirmations and pretty much anything that you believe in your heart and mind and soul is going to move you closer to union, but you also know that it's going to impact other parts of your life and you know it's going to be a good thing, go for it. I don't think there's a problem with that. If you wouldn't regret it in 5 years, I'm going to put it to you like this. When I was in college, I failed my freshman year of college. I was 16. I had no idea what I was doing. I took way too many classes and I failed bad. I was on track to be to have a psychology degree, but that particular degree in the particular college within my university had a very high requirement for GPA. I missed it by like a few points, not points, but points. 10th of a point, not points. And so I ended up having to transfer into a different major. So now I have another major and I'm in a completely different college. So I meet with my advisor, and some of you heard me tell this story. I meet with my advisor and she notices that my courses, and she's like, listen, you already kind of failed your freshman year. What are you doing? And she looks at my classes and she goes, oh, I see what you're doing. See, what I did was I looked at the classes I needed to get my psychology degree and the classes I needed to get my other degree that I ended up graduating with. And I looked and I said, okay, I got to get my GPA up. I want to be a psychologist. So I'm going to take any classes that overlap. So she saw what I was trying to do. I was trying to make my will be done by any means necessary. Now, in the end, what happened? I did not get the psychology degree. I ended up getting the degree that I didn't want, and it actually ended up benefiting me. It's everything I needed even to do this. So here's why I say that. If you're going to regret moving, taking the job, changing your phone number, blocking them, stalking them, spending hours and hours watching readings, doing sex magic or any black magic, spells, paying people. If you are going to regret anything, good or bad, that you do in 5 years, and you know that it's going to be a stain on your spirit or on your life or any of that, you have to stop and you have to walk away. You cannot move forward and do that, okay? But if you believe that it aligns with your goals, much like I was trying to kind of double up and take those, if you believe that you could move and it's going to impact your journey and the rest of your life, then do it. If you believe that it's going to give you the fresh start you need for probably a whole bunch of other areas of your life that maybe you don't want to admit, then do it. But if you also know that you're just doing it to, again, in a negative way, like to get close to them, to again run into them, especially like you guys, if there's like marriage, kids, family, stuff like that. If you're doing it to force it, I'm never going to give you that advice. But if you're not, then I think that it would be an okay thing to do, as long as you're not going to get disappointed or again regret it. Okay. I hope that was really clear, because I think that this is one of the things that holds a lot of people back in their life once they find out about twin flames. They hold back because they think, if I go forward or go too fast, I'm going to lose this person. I'm going to mess things up. They think that if they give up on the connection, that means they're not a good twin flame or that they're going to ruin their journey. Nothing can separate you from the love that God has for you, meaning God loves you so much. There's nothing that can come between that. And there's also nothing that can come between God's plan for love for you. Not a single thing. Not even you. Okay? All right. My phone is going to die. So I'm going to just take a couple more things. Let me see what we got. I hope that you believe. So yes, I got a degree basically in, like, it's the equivalent of social work at my university. Go Gators. Go Gators. I feel like I haven't said that in a while. I used to be obsessed. I used to be that Gator fan. That one. You know the one I'm talking about. Some of you don't know what I'm talking about. Just think about your local college football team like your most obnoxious fan. I was like that. I was like super ridiculous. But anyways, I haven't said that in a while. But anyways, I got my first degree. And then I actually got my last 2 degrees. I got an MBA, and then I finally went back and got my psychology degree. Boo! Ollie, whoever, I'm about to block you. Go Gators. I'm just kidding. Okay. Oh, Pamela. I thought we was cool, dog. I really thought that me and you had a chance to be friends. But you... What are all the SEC? Y'all are supposed to be asleep, first of all. Why is the SEC in my chat right now? All right, we're going to move on. See, you guys, if you had known me, the only time my mom ever showed me any love when I was young, the one thing my mom actually made me feel like she was my mom in, I know it's going to sound silly, the one thing my mom would make my sisters go away and play and whatever, go play, go to bed early, whatever, was when my football team, my baseball team, my basketball team, my college team, I was really into sports. When any of my teams were playing, my mom let me have the freaking living room. Anything else, it didn't matter, but that was the one time she did. And I always remember, and I always say that was the one time my mom let me be. And I think it was because I was so freaking intense. All right. There we go, Allison. That's what I'm freaking talking about. Let's get up and do this. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm done. Oh my gosh, Jamie, that's where I got my MBA and my psychology degree from. Aw, Jamie, what's up? Go Lions, roar. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. All right, I'm going to answer one more question. Let me see. Oh, okay. Ooh, okay. Y'all, you see what happens when I get excited about the freaking gators. Okay, this is why I no longer allow my old ways. I got super, super excited just now. Oh, congratulations. Thank God they graduate next year. Maybe they can actually walk, right? Sheesh. Okay. Am I making the right decision? I don't know, Shirley. And since I just got done kind of telling you guys, maybe don't just take a answer from someone else. Yeah, like be careful. I don't know anything about your situation. I could pull a card, but what if the card is wrong? What if evil is trying to mess with you? What if it's a test? You know what I mean? Like I don't know, guys. You got to be careful with that. Um what does it say? How did I dedicate myself to my studies? I am a super nerd. My mom had to let me, she didn't have to, but when I was like 5 or 6, my mom started letting me read these books by this author named Joanna Lindsay because she was a historical romance novelist. And my mom was tired of going to the library because I would finish whatever books we got from the kids section of the library, like the day we brought them home. We lived down the street from a library and it did not matter. She could not get enough books for me. I've always been obsessed with them. She used to have to check on me in the middle of the night. Like if she went to the bathroom, she would just come upstairs really quick to see if I was reading by my nightlight. Like, so I dedicated myself to my studies because I loved school. And even now, like, that's where you guys are so blessed that even my 3D supports this type of work because for the past couple of years, even though I'm not an astrologer, have no intentions of ever becoming one and learning that much, even though I'm not into a lot of certain like spiritual things or whatever, I still do enough research. I understand enough about chakras to be able to explain it if I feel the message come through. You know what I mean? Like I always will do the research and I just can't stop myself. So I dedicated myself to my studies because it was easy for me and I loved what I was doing. But if you struggle to dedicate yourself to anything, just have something in mind when you first start. I used to work for colleges and universities helping people get into school. And one of the questions I would ask them, and I actually had some of the highest graduation and retention rates in any of the institutions I worked for, I would say, what do you want me to say to you when when you think you want to quit? And I actually say that to all my coaching clients. So I just kind of gave away a little secret because all of you are going to be like, oh, you said that to me. Yep. What do you want me to say to you when you think you need to quit or you want to quit? So when you get to that point, when you see, Shirley, I normally don't answer people's questions like that, but I had a feeling I should say something. So look at that. I'm glad that you needed that moment. That's dope. That's dope. And then maybe other people needed to be reminded not to just trust anything that comes through. Okay. But anyways, so yes, if you struggle to dedicate yourself to something, tell yourself ahead of time. This is where the same thing with with the union questions and stuff. It's like, look, police yourself, assess yourself, be real about yourself. That's how you're going to get through anything. If you're the type of person that goes, I don't know what's wrong with me, you better figure it out. You really need to be sure that you're not just doing your normal thing rather than going, oh yeah, I felt bad today, so it must be my DM. Nah, some of you need help. Some of you need to get a therapist. Some of you need to talk some things out with your family or your friends. Some of you have issues with your exes. I mean, you know what I mean? Some of you can't always just lean into that. You know what I mean? So just be really cautious. Anyways, I'm supposed to be pulling one more card. Blah, 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 blah. All right, you know what? Let's just close out with a message. Let's close out with a message. I don't know what to ask. I just feel like the fact that I keep seeing 211, 211, and now I'm at 45%. I don't on my other phone over here. That's not about to die. I just feel like this is a good time to close, and I think that a lot of great messages came through, and I think a lot of really good information and a lot of twin flame stuff, a lot of things to catch people up who are just getting started, and also to bring people back to basics and just give everyone a chance to say, what is it really about for me? What am I really here for? What am I really doing? Why am I still a part of this twin flame dynamic? Why won't I give in? Why can't I let this person go? Whatever. Police yourself, ask yourself those questions, and listen to readings or to messages like this. It should not always be, when am I coming into union? There's so much more that goes into being a twin. Okay, guys? Thank you again to everybody who donated, by the way. I know this was kind of like just kind of a free-for-all and just kind of a random conversation, just hanging out with you guys. This has been really, really fun for me. Again, especially because I can't do any other readings. I have readings sitting, waiting to be sent. If you got a reading for me recently, Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, some of you, I'm on my second or third try with your reading. I'm pretty sure that Spectrum has gotten things somewhat figured out. They finally did me a reset at the plant, finally, after rewiring my house, all this other stuff. Sorry about that. But anyways, this was really good. And I feel like I was supposed to say something else, but I got distracted. So I'm going to go ahead and pull a card. Okay. Because I think my phone's going to die and I don't want to be like in the middle of talking to you. So first thing, let's get a message for the collective feminines and masculines. Four of Cups, Divine Feminine, any discontent you feel right now is meant to be. You are meant to feel this. You notice how both times I pulled for the collective, both times it came up to 12? You are in a time of what is going to feel like battle right now. Both twins. Both twins are in battle across in two different lands. And they're thinking about each other and they're missing each other, but they can't give up. They can't give in. Okay? So Divine, oh, you know what? It's funny because I'm kind of getting, I don't know why I looked at this and I immediately saw Divine Feminine. And I still feel it. I wonder if this is the message. Oh, I wonder if this is a message too. Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. Because we're reconciling these opposing. Okay, my bad. Sorry, I needed to understand what's happening. Okay, we need to come into harmony. That's the message to each other. Both counterparts want harmony. The divine masculine wants the divine feminine to realize that if there is any like unhappiness, again, boredom, discontent, it is there for a reason. Fix it, solve it. Oh, hey, Lori, look at it. Figure out why you're not happy and make it right. Because this could very well be your 5D trying to signal you to get your attention to say, hey, union's around the corner, communication's around the corner, the next step is around the corner, get it right, okay? Then we have 8. We have this double energy. We have this, both times also it was a double, like a quickening is happening. But we have the 8, and it's 8 of Wands in reverse for the Divine Feminine. And I think this says, listen, slow down. Take a minute and assess the situation, okay? Take a minute and really look around before you make any decisions and choices. Look ahead, look back, assess everything, and then move forward. But you're missing something, okay? Divine masculines are trying to get the message through. I think divine masculines are starting to learn that they're missing something, but they're more open to it. I think the divine feminines are struggling to remain and maintain that openness to anything they don't want to hear because we're getting tired. Have you guys been hearing that the term pandemic fatigue? Again, please do not start on any nonsense. I don't care what you think right now about the coronavirus. Please be quiet. But just remember what the pandemic fatigue is, right? It's been going on for so long, I'm kind of just over it, right? And in the same way, the divine feminines have union fatigue. They're tired. They're just like, you know what, whatever at this point. And unfortunately, when you get into that kind of like lackadaisical attitude, it doesn't really bode well, okay? And so my thing that I'm asking you to do, divine feminines, slow down, assess the situation honestly, because you're missing something. The divine masculines are not having trouble. They know they're missing something. They get it. They're aware that they've been missing their inspiration, but divine feminines, you may be ignoring that because you do not want to admit it, okay? Again, divine feminines, the discontent that you feel right now is being sent your way for a reason. I think you might be missing it. I think that you're so worried about the negative energy meaning something kind of like bad, like against your union, that you're not paying attention to what it really means. Okay? Okay. Now, 5D wise, what is the message? What do you need to understand as we continue to come into harmony and balance for the year of the twin flame? Think logically, think clearly, and also clean up your thinking and your thoughts, okay? Clean up your thinking and your thoughts about twin flames, about your purpose, about, whatever. The one good thing about the election being basically over, please again, do not argue about the fact, whatever, right? But let's just assume that maybe it's over, is, oh my gosh, we can stop dealing with all the freaking bull, all the freaking ads and all the, it's like this every 4 years. I'm not even talking about what we've been specifically dealing with. I'm talking about just that same old kind of nonsense that comes up with every election. It's like, that is gone now. You understand? Clear it away. Get rid of it. Whatever side you're on, reassess, move forward. It doesn't matter what's happening in your life. It doesn't matter whether your life is good, bad, or other right now. All you're being asked to do is take an assessment, an honest assessment. Be real, be true, use your brain, think clearly. If you're not in a place to think clearly, get it cleared, okay? Get yourself into a position if you need to take a walk, if you need to take a bath. Some of you guys need to talk to somebody and don't have nobody to talk to. Call the suicide hotline. I'm sorry. I don't want to get anybody Baker acted or anything like that. I'm not trying to, make you think that you're suicidal. But if you have no one to talk to, they're there for a reason. I'm sorry if that's like a weird thing to say to some of you right now, but like I'm serious. If you have no one to talk to about anything, call. You deserve to talk to another human being. There are billions of people out there, and there are people who will pick up the phone. If you don't have the suicide hotline in your country, try to get like a virtual something to where you can get into someone else's country and call their hotline. Do something. Get online and see if you can chat or whatever. But please, if you need to talk, if you need help, if you need to clear your mind, then do it. You're doing a good job just by thinking and just by being here. You know me. All of you know how I am as a reader, as a guide, as a teacher, whatever you see me as. I do not hold back, and I'm not always going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm not always going to tell you things you even wanted to hear in that moment, not just even personally, but just at all, right? So the fact that you're here and you sticking around even when you're in a tough place just goes to show you're not giving up on yourself. Take the time to do what you can to clear things out. Clean out your house, clean out your car, clean out your closet. Again, do that thing you always do to make yourself feel better. And if you haven't, let's say some of you are like, Grace, what if my thing is I go get a massage, but I can't go to a massage parlor in my town right now because of COVID? Or, it's like, I get it. I know that there's also going to be a lot of room for excuses because there's so much that's changed. And maybe that's what they're trying to get your attention about right now. Hey, I know things are tough. I know things are different, and maybe you've struggled with anxiety and you finally had gotten everything figured out in 2019, and then 2020 came and it knocked you off your game. It's like, I hear you. You know what I mean? I'm with you. We've all had to make changes. Some of us more, some of us less. All they're asking you right now is just to figure out where you're at. All the guides, God, source, spirit, universe, whoever you believe in, someone is trying to reach you right now and say, listen, clear your mind, prepare your spirit, because it's coming whether you like it or not. Some of you missed that 10 of Pentacles earlier. Y'all might want to rewatch this message. Again, I know it's not a traditional reading, but I would hope that with all my degrees and my experience and the fact that I'm in union, whatever it is that you value about me, I would hope that you'd be willing to watch something even if you know there's not a lot of cards involved. So, final message for anyone out there who really just needs that one last thing. Think your question, shoot your shot, think about it, take a minute. What's the most important thing? Notice how the 9 of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles came up. This is dope. Enjoy life's little luxuries. Spend quiet time alone, and you will likely see yourself building, creating successful self-employment, or even some of you need to be entrepreneurs, and you need to see your job as a, what would you call that? I don't know. It's just a means, right? It's just a way to get what you need to do what you actually want to do. Some of you may never actually be, like what I do, where I, have my own business and I plan everything and da-da-da. Some of you might need to work for someone else so that maybe you instead can support people in another way. You know what I mean? And make money through a company, not have to worry about the liability, and use your finances for a different type of ministry or personal organization or whatever. So please, the fact that we have the 10 of Pentacles, the 9 of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles in the energies, to me says, if you are divine feminine and you're still listening to this message, ask yourself why you still aren't doing more with your light work or anything at all with your light work. What's your excuse today? What's your excuse today? Maybe the time you've been spending alone, the time you've been away from your counterpart, has been meant to get you on your game this whole time, and you've been ignoring me and every other person who tries to tell you. If you can hear my voice right now, Grace is telling you, the cards are telling you, what else do you need? All right, I love y'all. I'm out because I think my phone's going to die, and I feel like it's going to be in the middle of something important, or it's going to be in the middle of me saying something that's kind of like hard or mean or harsh, and then you guys are going to be like, that was the last thing Grace said to me. You know what I mean? So, okay. All right. I love you guys. If you're still here, leave me a black heart. I really like black. If you guys haven't noticed. It's my favorite color. Leave me a black heart if you're still here. If you watch this whole thing, if you were able to get to the live chat or just watched it later, leave a black heart in the comments. If you think this is a message that other twin flames or anyone in the collective needs to hear, please like this video. Even if you didn't like it, I don't know if you know this, but if you like or dislike the video, all you're doing is putting it back into the algorithm. YouTube doesn't care if you dislike a video. They don't care. The fact that you watched it and disliked it literally just puts it back into the algorithm. So you know what? Even if you didn't like it, thanks for getting me more views. Appreciate you. But if you did, I really am grateful for you to share something like this, because again, it's not typical, it's not the standard, but I think that there are some people out there who really need the message, or messages, if you will. So I love you. If you watch this later and you're willing, or if you decide to watch it again, please put a timestamp on any message you think other people need to hear, and maybe say, hey, at this timestamp she talks about this, or at this timestamp, you know, check this part out because she mentions this part of union. Whatever it is, please feel free to do that in the comments. Thank you so much for being so kind and loving to each other. I love all the community that I see in my live chats. It thrills me. It's one of the things that excites me the most for some reason about my ministry is like seeing it in action, like seeing you guys love on each other, seeing you guys support each other, seeing you guys spread love and messages of hope and truth and being vulnerable. What up, Mary Jane? All these things make me feel like I'm doing the right thing. So please take a moment, be kind to each other, love on someone nearby you, hit that neighbor up or that cousin up or that relative up that you know you've been fighting about this freaking election with. Make a joke, push on them, love on them, and see if you can get the tension and the ice broken. Please, there is no more room for hate. As someone who is not in contact with her entire family of origin, I'm telling you right now, if you've got someone in your life that you love, be with them. If you are not going to be able to be in a relationship with them, cut them off for good. But if not, you need to be all in or all out. No more halfway love, no more lukewarm love, no more. Love each other, love this ministry, love this tribe, love your community. Do everything you can to keep building, because this is just the beginning. Where we are at this moment is just the beginning, okay? All right, I'm out for real. I love you. If you need me, because I was about to leave. If you need me, here's my website, thefierygrace.com. For those of you who just went to my website and ordered exclusives, make sure that you use the code because it's 11% off exclusives right now. The code is Heaven1111. If you just ordered an exclusive, I'm going to try to send it to you now. If you've ordered a reading from me recently, especially if you ordered earlier in, last month, mid-last month, your reading is done. It's just sitting, okay? So please forgive me. I'm doing everything I can to work with my internet. If you need me, my email is thefierygrace@gmail.com. You'll get an auto reply back if you email me and you just have questions about what it's like to work with me. And I accept PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. Right now and throughout pretty much the rest of the year, my most popular reading. Okay, so I'm leaving. I don't want anyone to think that the reading is starting over, but I plugged my phone in, and so I think that you guys can hear me now. So, the last thing I was telling you is that I got my love letters and stuff on sale. I'm out for real. I just wanted to make sure that I ended the video not in the middle of me talking. And also blackness. So what do I do? I guess I'm gonna do this. Oh, it never happened. We're just normal people. Everything's fine. Oh, it was always on. Okay, all right, but I'm out for real. So I hope that this was a blessing, and that if I cut this down, that nobody notices that the whole camera moved. I just wanted to make sure I said goodbye because I love you guys so much, and I'm so happy that 200 people wanted to hang out with me in the middle of the night on a Saturday night. So I'll talk to everybody soon. I should be coming out with a love letter every week. It seems like I've been getting pretty consistent messages again, but I should definitely be coming out with some 1111 information, so don't forget to look up for it. Oh, and last thing, if you're still here, you probably are like one of the people who pays attention to me when I talk. So please know that I will be changing the name and some of the stuff about the channel, okay? Just so you know. So if you already probably noticed that my logo went blacked out. And I just want you guys to know that I am changing the channel. It will still be the same channel. If you notice the name is not Fiery Grace or you cannot find me, don't worry. You should still be subscribed, or otherwise you'll notice like my background and stuff like that. And if you get like recommendations, okay? So just be on the lookout if you're still listening. And again, those of you who usually stay like this long and like just listen to me talk are probably like long-term subscribers, or you know what I mean? You vibe with me. So just so you guys know, because you're probably the most important ones who are going to be like, where's Grace? I'm not leaving. If you're subscribed to me, you're just going to see the channel name is different. But just be on the lookout. I've been feeling like I needed to make some changes for a while now, but what are the odds? Mercury retrograde ended. All of a sudden, I just had this clarity and I know exactly what to do. So be on the lookout. I'm really out of here. Again, to those of you who donated, thank you. I love you, and I'm out.